Today we're answering a question I've had for years. Does prepping your canvas the right way actually make a noticeable difference? Or is it just one of those rules everyone repeats without question? So I'm painting the same piece twice. One on a canvas I prep like the experts say, and one on a canvas I just started painting on, like I usually do. Let's see what happens. Alright, let's talk canvas prep. Because if you've ever wandered into a rabbit hole of painting tutorials, you've probably heard that prepping your canvas the right way is crucial. Like, real artists always do this type of importance. So what does that actually mean? First, sanding. Not the most glamorous step, but lightly sanding a canvas can smooth out that bumpy factory texture. It helps your brush glide more easily, especially if you're working with detail or softer strokes. Then comes gesso. Even though most store-bought canvases say they're pre-primed, many artists still recommend adding another coat or 2 or 7 of gesso. Why? Because it creates a stronger barrier between your paint and the raw fabric, which can really affect how your colors sit and last. It also adds just enough tooth for the paint to grab on, like giving it a grippy little handshake. Some people repeat these steps multiple times. Some people also spray the back of the canvas with water to tighten it. Kind of like stretching a drum, makes everything feel more taut and professional. And then there's a colored ground. Instead of painting on a stark white, you lay down a watered down layer of color first. It knocks back that blinding brightness and gives the whole piece a tonal starting point. Plus, little pops of that color peeking through your brushstrokes? Chef's kiss. So that's what I did for canvas 1. The full treatment. Sanded, gessoed, toned, and ready for action. Now let's talk about the second canvas. This is how I normally work. I pull out a canvas, sketch directly onto it, and start painting. No extra steps, no fuss, just dive in, and honestly, sometimes it works out fine. Sometimes it's a little more frustrating, but it's real. So the big question is, will doing all of that prep actually make a noticeable difference in the final paintings? Let's put it to the test. As I'm painting, I'll be paying attention to a few things. How the brush feels on each canvas, how the paint lays down and blends, whether I have to work harder on one than the other, if anything cracks, streaks, or behaves weirdly. So far, the prepped canvas does feel a little smoother. My brush strokes glide easier, and I notice the colors look slightly more realistic on the toned background. But the unprepped one is kind of holding its own. We'll see the real difference once it dries. Okay, both paintings are dry. I stepped away, gave it some time, and now I'm ready to take a closer look. Let's start with the prep canvas. Blending was smoother, like the brush was skating on top rather than sinking in. The paint looked richer right away, probably because the gesso stopped it from soaking into the fabric. The final surface looks more finished, more intentional, and when I touched it, the paint felt like it was sitting on the canvas instead of getting pulled into it. Bonus points? It just feels more durable, like something I could frame or sell without worrying about how it'll age. Now let's look at the unprepped canvas. The surface was noticeably rougher, and my brush kind of fought me in certain spots. Paint got absorbed more quickly, especially the thinner layers. It made some areas look patchy or dull, and blending took more effort. It wasn't impossible, but it felt a bit like working uphill. You can also see multiple areas where the canvas white bleeds through. So, prepping helps? Absolutely. Is it always essential? Not necessarily. It's better to paint imperfectly than to never start at all. Here's the really cool part. They both took me 2 hours to create. so time was never an issue. If I had to pick a favorite, I would have to go with the prepped one. This one is so bright and beautiful, but this one feels more realistic, more down to earth. So here's what I'd say. If you're wondering whether you should bother with canvas prep, it all depends. If you're painting something you really care about, something for your portfolio, something for a client, or even something you want to keep forever, then yes, prep your canvas. It makes the process smoother, the end result more vibrant, and the painting itself more likely to stand the test of time. But if you're just experimenting, practicing, or having fun in the studio, there's absolutely no shame in skipping it. Sometimes the extra step can slow you down or take the spark out of what you were trying to explore. There's value in both approaches, and what matters most is that you're making. Prepped or not, the magic is still in your hands. So, what do you think? Are you team prime everything, or team just paint already? And why? Let me know in the comments below. And if you like this kind of challenge, I have more coming your way. Real questions, honest answers, and lots of painty fingers. Until next time, keep creating, keep exploring, and don't be afraid to try things your way.